Great news. I can almost do my signature braid again. As you can see, I have all these little baby hairs around my head that I lost when Zion turned 4 months old because all my hormones change, and now I'm almost getting my hair back enough to do my signature braid. We're really close. Anyway, so I got a direct message on Instagram from a gal named Antonia, and I want to talk about it. She said, "Dear Emily, I've heard you talk a lot about the decision to save sex for marriage. That's something I want to do, but what does that look like? What do I need to do to actually commit to that?" This is a question that I've gotten a lot over the years, and I want to make this video as a reference for that, to take it from an idea of like, yes, I want to commit to saving sex for marriage, or recommit to saving sex for marriage if you have just found out about this concept for the first time, or you've made mistakes in your life or decisions that you've been unhappy with and you want to recommit to saving sex for marriage. What does that look like? Taking it from this like, yes, I want to do that, to how I actually do that in my life. So how do we make this tangible and practical? There are 4 things that I want to talk about in making this choice and this decision. So the first thing I encourage you to do, if this is something you want to choose and commit to, is to consider your why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to make this choice? That answer looks different for everybody. For some people, this decision has to do with their faith, and for some people, it has nothing to do with faith whatsoever. There are a million, maybe not a million, but quite a few reasons why someone would make this choice. Considering your why and really thinking about that, and if you're a person of faith, praying about that is very, very important. When we make this big decisions in our lives, whatever that might be, it's really important to understand our motivation behind them, to really think through and reflect on our motivation behind them so that we have a foundation. If you don't have a foundation for the why that you're doing this, it's really easy to just crumble and fall apart and walk away from this commitment, or just let go of this commitment altogether. So having that why, that reasoning, really thinking through that is very, very important. The second thing to do is like make a tangible commitment. And this looks different, once again, for everybody. When we set goals in our life, when we make big commitments, we don't just think like, oh yeah, I'm committing to this in my head. Like that usually doesn't work, because it's easy to just think of it as some idea and then kind of just slowly let that idea fade away, right? When it's just in our head, it's so different than being like outside of our body on something that's tangible. So when I was 16, I just wrote out a commitment to God about why I was deciding to save sex for marriage, why that was something I wanted to do, and what that entailed, what that commitment would look like for me. I just wrote it out as a little prayer and a commitment to God. My reasoning for saving sex for marriage was partly based in my faith, but partly based in a lot of other reasons. The list can be very long. It can be for more than one reason. I wrote that commitment out to make a tangible thing that I could hold on to say, yes, I am committing to this. And some people make that commitment and they have a tangible outward sign of that. Some people have a purity ring. Some people have a necklace. That is personal for everybody. If this is a commitment or a recommitment that they make, if they want to have a tangible like outward sign to remind them of that, or where they want to keep that commitment that they write out, whether that's in their Bible, whether that's like on their wall, whatever that might be, that's personal to you. The third thing that I want you to understand and consider and do in all of this is, on the day that you make such a commitment in your life, is to let go of what other people think about your commitment. First of all, you don't have to make this decision public. This is a personal decision for you. Every person that decides they're going to commit or recommit to saving sex for marriage gets to decide whether they want to witness and share about that decision, or if they want to tell other people, hey, guess what? That's none of your business. This is a personal decision to me, and I don't want to talk about that. That is up to you. That is up to each person. And it's important to understand that if people do know about this decision, they're going to have some opinions about it. People may make fun of you. People may call you names. I was made fun of and called names. I mean, every name in the book. People are going to say things, and that might be even people you love, right? Maybe that's your mom and you really love your mom, and this is not something that your mom chose for her own life, but this is something you want to choose for your life. And your mom says to you, honey, you don't buy a car before you test drive it. That might be your situation. People you love in your life who've chosen differently might say, this is the stupidest thing you're doing. Why are you doing such a thing? And you have to be prepared for that when you make this commitment. If people are going to find out about this, if you're going to share about this, etc. And this is normal. It's just part of the whole thing, and that it comes with the territory, and you just need to be prepared for it and understand that, for however long, whether you get married or not, it is still a worthwhile thing to live chastity and live this virtue, even if you get married or not. It's another video for another day. Understanding that it is best to just not listen to the people who want to tear you down or make fun of you for your convictions, even when sometimes that's really, really hard. Sometimes it's really, really hard not to listen to those people and not let their comments and their opinions get to you. It's really hard. And so going into it with the knowledge, making this commitment with the knowledge that it's gonna be really, really hard if people have these things to say is a good thing and a realistic thing. The last thing I want you to understand is that this isn't some commitment or recommitment that you make in your life and then poof, it's so easy. This is realistically, real talk, this is a really hard choice to make. It's not easy. Choosing chastity, choosing to live purity is not the easy road at all. It's actually a really, really hard route. Really hard. And it's hard for a lot of different reasons, because of the haters, because you have to figure out how you're gonna bring this up if you're in a dating relationship, because it's not easy to practice the virtue of chastity in a romantic relationship. It takes effort, it takes intentionality, and it takes hard choices again and again and again. So being realistic about this, understanding that I make this commitment and then I have to date differently than what the world is saying dating is and what dating should be. It's not easy. And going into it with that mindset and that understanding is very, very important, so that we don't have this, idea that, oh my gosh, it's so easy and I make this commitment and poof, I make this commitment and it's hard. And it's hard and it's hard and it's hard again, but it's so worthwhile. I talk about the challenge of this in a blog that I wrote called Wedding Nights and Wedding Rings, which I will link down below. You are welcome to read that. And all of my other blogs if you want to, but this is hard, but it's worth it. It is worth it to live the freedom that chastity offers us 1,000 times again. It is so worth it. So those are 4 things that I want you to understand in terms of taking this from an idea or something that you think would be great to do into something that's really, really tangible, making that commitment tangible and being realistic about what that entails. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would love to hear from you. That's all for today. Keep your heart up. Keep that heart up and keep shining. And I will talk to you soon.